3D Via Composer is an authoring tool that allows us to create rich, graphical content from our engineering data for any type of publication. These include things like service manuals, online instruction manuals, assembly instruction sheets, and many more. Here, we see an animation that shows how to disassemble a Power Painter assembly. We are going to be working with this Power Painter assembly to show how easy it is with 3D Via Composer to create graphical content for use in one of many different publication environments. We will also take a look at how easy it is for publications in the engineering environments to easily collaborate and maintain these documents. We will show that as the design of the product changes throughout the design process, technical publications can maintain all of their documentation, allowing them to get started much earlier in the life cycle of the product as opposed to the end of the design phase. Here, we have a Microsoft Publisher document already started. This manual shows the step-by-step instructions for disassembly for proper cleaning. However, one of the steps, step 6, is not quite finished. Let's take a look at how to create this type of content inside of 3D Via Composer. Here, we can see all the different views that we have created for the publication. We can easily navigate to each of these views by simply double-clicking on them. In step 6 of the worksheet, first we want to make sure that we are showing the proper line art for this publication. 3D Via Composer supports standard illustration line art. In this case, we're going to use a silhouette. The next step is to show the components in an exploded state. To do this, we can easily select any components and drag them into position. In this example, we are showing both a rotational and a linear transition to show that the spray tip needs to first be twisted off of the assembly. We'll also do this with a swirl valve as well. Next, we will use some of the 3D collaboration tools in 3D Via Composer to really give this view the look we are after. These will be used to both show the linear direction of the components, but we will also need to add rotational arrows as well to show the twisting motion that is required to remove these components, as we did with the components themselves. While creating these collaboration tools, we can change any of the properties of them with ease. Simply select the collaborators you would like to change and adjust the sliders in the Properties pane to make the appropriate changes. In this case, we want to make sure that both the rotational arrows have the same properties so that they are the same size, spacing, opacity, and radius to really give our view that professional look that we're after. As we can see that every aspect of the collaborators can be adjusted to our liking, this allows us to create unlimited possibilities to any of your documentations. As we finished with the last few modifications to the arrows, we're going to need to simply save the changes in 3D Via Composer. Once this is finished, we will also need to publish the images created by the views. We do this using the High Resolution Image pane. These can be any standard image type, including JPEGs, bitmaps, or in this case, we're going to save them as PNG files. We're overwriting the original images used in our Microsoft Publisher document, and as we can see in the Graphics Manager here, we are notified that the views have been modified. A simple pull-down menu allows us to update all of the images in the document instantly, bringing them up to date, specifically noting that Step 6 now accurately represents the disassembly process for the spray tip. 3D Via Composer has really allowed us to work directly with the engineering data, in this case a SOLIDWORKS design. As changes are made to the original designs of the products, we're going to need to update our documentation as well. In this case, there is a design change being made to the spray tip of this assembly. We're going to need to update all of the documentation where this is used. Doing so in 3D Via Composer is as easy as choosing the Update option from the File menu. Here, we simply select the file to update, and 3D Via Composer does the rest of the work for us. What this really allows us to do is to start working on our publications earlier on in the design process of the product, as opposed to waiting for all of the finished deliverables from engineering. We no longer need to have publications teams and engineering teams going back and forth trying to get the right versions and the latest copies of documentation. Publications can start early on and simply update the 3D Via files as changes are necessary. This also eliminates errors in our publications, as well as getting the final publication documents out the door and finished faster than ever before. At no point in this process would we have had to actually go to the engineer and ask them to save a special file or screenshot for us, as at any time we can open native SOLIDWORKS, CATIA, Pro Engineer, and any neutral format file. This saves us huge amounts of time and confusion. As we can see, all the views in 3D via Composer are now up to date with the latest engineering changes. All that is left is to update our output images. Going back to the High Resolution Output tab, we simply save the documents. In this case, we also want to update the cover image as well, which is a different resolution than the rest of the images in the manual. The High Resolution Image tab allows us to save company standards and favorites for image output standards. For the final update inside of Microsoft Publisher, we're going to go directly to the Publish option, which will prompt us to automatically update all the views in our final manual document. We're also going to directly publish the document to a PDF as well to wrap this up. As we can see, 3D via Composer truly makes creating rich graphical content for publications extremely easy, but more importantly, collaborative with our already created engineering documents. This saves vast amounts of time as well as minimizing the time to get the final documents finished so we can deliver our products to our customers faster.